So marketing is generating leads in HubSpot, but Salesforce is still your core CRM. You need to keep both systems updated, but it's becoming a little bit of a mess. If this sounds like your situation, today we'll show you exactly how to set up your HubSpot to Salesforce integration so your systems can work harmoniously together. We're on The Fuse, your elite HubSpot partner and globally recognized as the top 1% of all HubSpot experts. And in today's video, we're going to cover the key functionalities of each platform, integration benefits, the complete step-by-step setup process based on having done over 300 integrations, advanced configuration strategies, then troubleshooting and common FAQs, and finally, best practices from real implementations. Okay, let's jump in. So understanding the differences between HubSpot and Salesforce. According to the Aberdeen Group research, companies with aligned sales and marketing teams see 20% annual growth versus 4% for misaligned teams. And this HubSpot Salesforce integration provides the foundation for that alignment. But before integrating, we need to understand each platform's core philosophy and how they work. So starting with HubSpot. Their core philosophy is being an all-in-one, user-friendly platform built around the inbound methodology, attracting, engaging, and delighting customers. Its intuitive interface and integrated hubs eliminate the need for multiple vendor solutions, providing a single source of truth. And they are traditionally targeting small and medium-sized businesses, but now they also offer great enterprise features to compete with larger platforms like Salesforce and Dynamics. HubSpot's key functionalities include Marketing Hub for automation, lead generation and nurturing, content creation with AI assistance, social media, campaigns, SEO, and marketing automation. Then Sales Hub for sales-oriented automation, lead and deal tracking, pipeline management, and AI-powered forecasting. Service Hub is your customer support option for help desk, ticketing, live chats, and AI chatbots. Content Hub is a content management system for dynamic, personalized websites, landing pages, and blogs. Now for Salesforce. Salesforce operates as a highly customizable and scalable platform designed for enterprise-level organizations. Unlike HubSpot, which offers different hubs for each department, Salesforce offers multiple brands to match each department's needs, all living under the Salesforce umbrella. Commanding about 19.6% of the CRM market, its key capabilities are Sales Cloud for advanced features for managing leads, contacts, opportunities, and pipelines with robust reporting, analytics, and AI-driven forecasting. Then the Marketing Cloud, sophisticated marketing automation, lead scoring, and campaign management. Next, Service Cloud, tools for customer service, including case management and multi-channel support. Then their App Exchange. This is a marketplace with over 4,500 third-party applications and different extensions. And guys, if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our next HubSpot tips and tricks. But what if your company uses both of these tools? Let's take a look at their integration. HubSpot has a native integration with Salesforce, eliminating the need for additional costs of custom development. The official app is available in the HubSpot app marketplace and is included in HubSpot's professional and enterprise plans. The native integration facilitates bidirectional data flow, ensuring vital customer data like contacts, leads, companies, deals, and activities stay updated in both your systems. However, there are a few limitations. So for complex business rules, custom objects, or high volume data syncs, the native connector may have restrictions, potentially requiring a third-party integration for your platforms. So why integrate HubSpot with Salesforce? There are a few key reasons. One is bridging the marketing sales gap. This integration provides a solution to sales and marketing misalignment. Marketing teams gain visibility into how campaigns impact real sales outcomes, while sales teams access prospects' full engagement history, including website activity, email opens, and form submissions. Then, unified customer view. Changes made in one system automatically appear in the other, eliminating disconnected data and ensuring all teams work with real-time, accurate information. Then, enhance lead management. Simplifies and automates your lead funnel. Leads generated and nurtured in HubSpot transferred to sales once qualified, preventing leads from falling through the gaps and ensuring smooth transition from an MQL into an SQL for your sales team. Also, streamline operations. Automated data flow eliminates double manual data entry, reducing errors and freeing teams for high impact activities. And finally, superior reporting. Combining data from both of your platforms enables comprehensive end-to-end reporting. Marketers can link campaign performance directly to sales revenue, while sales leaders gain deeper insights into customer behaviors, enabling data-driven decisions and accurate revenue forecasting. Before we go into the step-by-step setup of this integration, there are critical things you need to know to prevent integration failure. First, both systems use different data models. HubSpot treats all prospects and customers as contacts and uses the lifecycle stage property to indicate progression from a lead to a customer. Whereas all new prospects enter as leads, then once qualified, a lead converts into a contact in Salesforce. Also, HubSpot has companies, Salesforce has accounts, and deals are the equivalent to Salesforce opportunities. Then the unique identifier. This is different. HubSpot either uses the contact's email or company domain, while Salesforce uses a record ID. Next, data quality and hygiene. Integration effectiveness depends on data quality. A pre-integration detox is essential and cleanup is essential before connecting the systems. We recommend thorough deduplication and standardization of field values to prevent sync errors and data inconsistencies. Neglecting this can cause a lot of data pollution, massive amounts of duplicates, and reporting discrepancies. Next, strategic planning and governance. So here, establish a master sync plan defining rules of engagement for integrated systems. This plan should document data ownership to clearly define which system serves as the source of truth for each data point, like lead source or contact owner, to prevent conflict overrides and data overrides. Object and field mapping. Detailed documentation outlining which objects will sync HubSpot contacts to Salesforce leads, for example, or which properties will be mapped and sync rules for each field. Then have a dedicated integration user. Create a specific Salesforce user account for the integration with full read and write permissions, but not tied to a specific person's login. This ensures all changes made by HubSpot are traceable and unaffected by personnel changes or individual permissions. Finally, industry and compliance requirements. So, for businesses in protected industries such as healthcare or financial services, specific compliance requirements must be addressed. Make sure you know that only HubSpot's enterprise tools support HIPAA-protected data storage. So for these companies, carefully implement selective sync and configure the dedicated integration user with precise permissions to prevent personally identifiable information from entering wrong fields in HubSpot. So guys, finally, we have prepared our data. We know the gotchas to look out for. Now it's time to get this integration set up. This is our step-by-step installation process. And guys, do not start your HubSpot Salesforce integration without pre-mapping your fields. Based on doing this integration for hundreds of companies, we've created this free template so you can get it right the first time. It has every field mapping, sync rule, and configuration you'll need. Link is in the description below, so grab it now or you'll spend weeks cleaning up duplicate records. From within your HubSpot account, access the app marketplace via the top navigation bar, and then we're going to search for Salesforce. Now, here you're going to see a few options come up, so make sure to choose the official Salesforce integration, not any third-party alternatives. Next, click Install App. Then, if you are connecting to a sandbox environment, you'll want to check this appropriate box here. And once that's done, you'll be prompted to log into Salesforce and authorize the connection between the platforms. After logging in, you'll be asked to add the HubSpot embed window to Salesforce, and this provides sales reps with a summary of HubSpot source interactions and allows them to enroll contacts in HubSpot workflows directly from Salesforce. The main objects of the integration are your contacts, companies, and deals. For each of these, the integration is configured to map certain properties. For example, under contacts, we have city, description, and email, and other properties. And here we can choose the sync rule. So in most cases, we can change the sync rule for most properties. In this example, we have a HubSpot's annual revenue field versus Salesforce annual revenue. And we're going to select how the information will flow between these two items for these specific properties. If we select the Prefer Salesforce option, which is the default, it means only Salesforce will update HubSpot unless Salesforce is empty, in this case, the information will be transferred from HubSpot. A two-way sync detects which value in the property is more recent. So if you have a contact in Salesforce with $1 million annual revenue, then create it from scratch in HubSpot without any data there, the integration will go to Salesforce and override that information, making it 0. When choosing two-way sync, it's important to make sure the information is clean and accurate when you're integrating these two CRMs. Next, if choosing always use Salesforce. This is similar to Prefer Salesforce, but it will trust Salesforce as a source of truth, even if the field is empty. And finally, the Don't Sync option simply means don't transfer any information between these two properties. When creating the integration, it's good practice to turn off the deals integration initially. We can keep it active, but HubSpot recommends turning it on after we finish importing contacts and companies so the deals associated with these two sync correctly. If for some reason one of the deals gets synced before contacts or companies have been updated, it will trigger errors. So to avoid this issue, we recommend turning this part off, but you can also leave it on if you do prefer. All right, so we've set up the sync rules, so let's click on Next, and we're at the last part where we can see the summary of the integration. And then if everything looks correct, we'll click on the Finish Setup. And the objects that communicate with contacts in HubSpot are contacts or leads in Salesforce. Companies sync with accounts in Salesforce, HubSpot's deals with opportunities, and tickets with Salesforce cases. They represent the same thing, but are just named different names. So to avoid confusion, we recommend you download our HubSpot and Salesforce integration mapping template, link in the description. Once in the integration page, the first thing you'll see is the API call usage. Every Salesforce account has a limit of API calls. So every time a contact or company gets updated, it will require a certain number of API calls. We recommend setting up a limit here so there's more room for Salesforce to run additional integrations. Here, for example, we're going to set it to 90,000. Here we should find the sync errors. We don't have any at the moment. In feature discovery, we can find the different tools that can be used for the integration, like custom objects and importing. Now, one that's usually missed is enable new activity sync. This is the beta phase and allows you to sync tasks and activities. Once we enable the feature in Feature Discovery, we'll be able to sync emails, calls, and meetings directly from Salesforce. We can also map these properties directly in this tab. When the values of these properties don't match between HubSpot and Salesforce because the values of each property are different, they will not sync. For example, priority, in HubSpot, it can be high, medium, or low, while in Salesforce, it's 1, 2, or 3. Name, so even if the property has the same name, if the values don't match, they will show an error. Unfortunately, these errors cannot be fixed unless you write custom code, which we can help with. So now we will delete these mappings. Here we can find the contact synced rules and all the contact properties and how they're mapped to match from Salesforce to HubSpot. This is where we select the rules inside the synchronization. For example, if a lead or contact is created in Salesforce, what do we want to happen in HubSpot? We can select to create the contact for each one or just for one of them. In what happens when a contact is created in HubSpot, we need to choose if it creates a contact or a lead in Salesforce. Regarding deleting contacts, we won't be able to delete contacts in Salesforce. It will just stop the sync. But if a contact is deleted in Salesforce, we can choose whether we want to delete it in HubSpot or not. This is where we select our inclusion list. We can filter any list here. I don't recommend creating the inclusion list from this screen since it will change the page and we'll lose any changes we've made so far. So we recommend creating it in another tab, then selecting your list here. The equivalent to an inclusion list in Salesforce is called selective sync. This process is done entirely in Salesforce and is very delicate. So if you're interested in this, please scan the QR code on the screen to see how HubSpot can help you with this. Thanks to this integration, we can create custom fields in Salesforce and then create them in HubSpot so they can be synced. This one is going to be called a custom number just for this example. Click Next and make sure it will be visible in our integration, and then click Next again. Finally, hit Save in Salesforce. Then we go to our integration and add our new field. Look for the new field we created, and as you can see, there's an _C at the end of the name, which indicates that this is a custom field. Since we don't have a property that matches this in HubSpot, we'll need to create it here. We'll just have to add the label, then select our sync option and look for it, and here it is. It was automatically created as a number by detecting what type of field this was in Salesforce. It works the same for companies and deals, but here we're going to focus on some errors that came up in the mapping. So in this one, for example, it's saying that the deal stage property doesn't have any of these stages here. We can find these warnings when, for example, a pick list doesn't have the same values in both of our CRMs. In one, it might have 1, 2, 3. In the other, it might have ABC. So we'll need to standardize these fields. Now that we have contacts in companies, let's import again so the information for both CRMs are updated. We go here to Import Data and Objects from an App. This option is only available when we install an integration with this functionality. We can choose between standard or custom objects. We can import leads, and contacts together, or companies. And all the objects that are not active in the integration will be grayed out. So for this example, we're going to start with accounts. I can also filter here. Once it's done, you can find our new company here. If we open it and display all properties, we can search for Salesforce. And here we'll add the account ID, which is the same one we can see directly in Salesforce. Now, once we finish with companies, we can go ahead and import our contacts and leads. Here, the integration is not detecting any contacts. We created one for testing, but it's not going to be recognized. Why? Well, this is very important. HubSpot will not synchronize any contacts that don't have an email. So if it doesn't have an email, it won't work. So we're going to add an email here and see what happens. So let's refresh the page and start again. And now here is our test contact. We see our contact history and there's our new contact record. Now we can open the contact and find that it's successfully connected to its company. This means the integration is working perfectly. Now that we have our contacts and companies, it's time to turn on deals and make sure the mapping is all good. Now here, notice how the fields are not modifiable when we talk about deals. We can only modify these options from our contacts. Once we turn on the deal synchronization, a Salesforce pipeline will be created in HubSpot to match this sales process. You can confirm this by going to your deals and looking for the new records coming from Salesforce. It's important to notice here that the close date is not coming up. But do you know why? Let's have a look at the property mapping, and there you have it. This is not coming up because we chose don't sync as the rule for this one. Remember that if you don't need to update some specific info, this is the best option to choose. And with this, you are ready to start using HubSpot and Salesforce together. We have set up over 300 Salesforce integrations, so use the link in the description to book your call today. Now, moving into troubleshooting. If you're seeing sync errors, these aren't isolated technical glitches. They often indicate underlying incompatibilities between the platform's data models or rules or governance structures. So troubleshooting involves diagnosing systematic issues rooted in the initial planning and configuration phases. Error type 1 is custom code errors. Common causes for this are Salesforce validation rules, flows, or triggers blocking updates from the integration user. Solutions here are to update the HubSpot record to fit the validation rule, or work with a Salesforce administrator to address the validation rules to ignore the integration user. Error type 2 is field mapping conflicts. Okay, so some common causes here are mismatched field types like text field to a drop-down field, inconsistent pick list values, or differing date or number formats. Solutions are to audit and align your field types across both of your systems. Standardize pick list values. For example, instead of UK, use United Kingdom for the country field. And document mapping rules and review them after any CRM schema changes. Error type 3 are duplicate records. And the common causes here are differing deduplication logic due to the system's different unique identifiers. Solutions here are to enable duplication rules in Salesforce to flag or block conflicts, use HubSpot's deduplication tools, or establish a record of truth field for conflict resolution. Error type 4 is permission sync errors. Some common causes here are the dedicated integration user lacks necessary permissions to access a field or object in Salesforce. Ownership of a record is assigned to an inactive user or a Salesforce queue. And the solutions here are to ensure the integration user is assigned to the HubSpot integration permission set or a system administrator profile. Also, to reassign contacts, accounts, and leads for ownership who have left the organization. Error type 5 is association errors. The common causes here are a record in Salesforce is associated with another record. For example, a contact with a company that has not yet been synced to HubSpot. And then solutions here are to force sync the associated record and ensure the parent records of the contacts and companies are synced before their related child records, such as the deals, are synced. Error type 6, API limit issues. Common causes are the daily number of API calls allocated to the integration is exceeded during high volume periods. Solutions are to implement selective syncing to reduce data volume, to schedule large data transfers during off-peak hours, and monitor API call usage in HubSpot's integration settings. Here are some common FAQs from our clients. First, how often does HubSpot sync with Salesforce? So, HubSpot deploys a dual trigger system for syncing data with Salesforce. There are scheduled syncs with routinely check for new and updated information that needs to be synchronized between the two accounts. And this happens approximately every 15 minutes. Then there's event-based sync, which is triggered as needed by a specific action or event. These events include creation of a new contact or lead in either platform, an update to a mapped field, or a contact being added to a Salesforce inclusion list. This combination ensures balance between real-time updates for critical actions and efficient batch processing for general data hygiene. Then, can I sync custom objects? Answer is absolutely yes. You can sync custom objects. However, this functionality does require a HubSpot Enterprise subscription. Question 3, does bidirectional sync trigger all my HubSpot workflows? So, when a bidirectional sync is implemented, new contacts created in HubSpot from Salesforce data will trigger any workflow they qualify for. To prevent these contacts from being inappropriately enrolled into your automation, a best practice is to modify existing workflows. This can be accomplished by creating a new checkbox or drop-down field in Salesforce called Exclude from Workflows, which is set to true for new Salesforce records before the sync. The enrollment criteria for all HubSpot workflows then can actually be updated to include this condition to exclude from workflows is not equal to true. Next, can I delay sync from HubSpot to Salesforce? While HubSpot does not have an explicit delay sync option, this can be achieved using an inclusion list. By creating a HubSpot active list with criteria a contact must meet, such as having a first name, last name, and job title, the sync will be delayed until the contact record is sufficiently enriched to meet those conditions. And what about our API limits? So the integration consumes Salesforce API calls, which are limited per day. A single contact sync can use up to 4 API calls per record. So it's important to have someone monitor these API calls and allocate specific amount to the integration within their HubSpot settings. Now, can I connect multiple HubSpot accounts to one Salesforce instance? The answer is yes. Multiple HubSpot accounts can be connected to a single Salesforce instance, but each HubSpot account must be set up and installed separately. But unfortunately, it is not possible to connect one HubSpot account to multiple Salesforce instances. Okay, guys, that was awesome. You are ready to set up your integration. So before jumping into it, remember these 5 tips for integration success. First, prioritize pre-integration planning. The success of your project is determined by work completed before your first piece of data is synced. Invest significant time into your data detox, defining data ownership, and creating a master sync plan. Then data governance and data ownership. Clearly establish which platform is the source of truth for each key field and document the sync rules for conflict resolution. This is the foundation to healthy data flow. Then implement a dedicated integration user. Use a dedicated Salesforce account with specific limited permissions for the integration. This is a critical security measure that also simplifies troubleshooting by clearly identifying all changes made by the integration user. Next, leverage selective sync. So from day one, use an inclusion list to control which records sync from HubSpot to Salesforce. Great thing about this is this prevents the transfer of low quality or irrelevant data, manages API call consumption, and ensures the sales team receives only the most qualified leads. And finally, monitor and evolve. So treat this integration as a living system, not just as a one-time setup. Appoint a designated owner to monitor sync errors, perform quarterly audits of field mapping, and adjust inclusion criteria as your business needs evolve. And guys, that is all for today's video. So if you want an expert to help with this integration, or if you encounter issues during your setup, we are here to help. At this point, we have helped over 300 companies successfully connect their HubSpot account to Salesforce or troubleshoot data issues from their old integration setup. Make sure to book a complimentary consultation today. We will audit your current setup and then create a custom integration plan for your specific business. Links are all in the description below. That is all for today. We will see you in the next video.